All right, we are live. Welcome back to another edition of Love and Relationship Talk. Look who we got back in the house with us tonight. Say something to us, Alabama church girl.
Beep, beep, toot, toot. It's your Alabama church girl here. Hey, listen. First, giving honor to God, who is the head of my life. To all the leaders, saints, and friends, welcome, welcome, welcome on in. Right now is a good time to go ahead and share this video, like this video, tell your friends to come on in too.
Tell your friends all about it. Tell them to come on in. And if you're watching on the replay, thank you for watching. Comment below. Let us know where you're from, what your name is, and your relationship status. Whether you're single, married, engaged, it's complicated, situationship, whatever it is, go ahead and comment that down below for us. And we're going to go ahead and jump right into this thing. So, first, the Alabama church girl wants to tell us a little bit about this situation with Yandy and Mendeezy. What's his name?
Mendices, I think is the
Yeah,
way you pronounce
yeah,
it.
whatever his name is, Mendeezy's. So prior to the broadcast coming on, we were talking a little bit about that, and I really don't know who these people are, but she's going to explain and give just a little bit of backstory, and we're going to talk about this. Go
Okay,
ahead.
so the question is, would a man hold a woman down who has to go to prison the same way women hold their men down when they go to prison? Now, this has been the question to Yandy for years now because her fiance, Yandy, is a reality show star. I think she was either R&R for music company or some type of public relations personnel for music company. And that landed her a position on Love and Hip Hop franchise. And her and her fiance are reality TV stars. That's how we come to know them. That's how I came to know them. Now, I haven't watched the show in many years, but I did watch it
Mhm.
when it originally came on. So that's how I know a little bit about her. Yandy is a beautiful woman, beautiful black woman,
Mhm.
accomplished black woman. She seems to be very well spoken. She's very good in business. From even her peers on the show sharing, she was good at what she does. She is good at
Mhm.
what she does. So clearly, she can stand alone. But when her fiance, who is a very attractive young man as well, when he had to go to prison, she married him before he went. Now, that's allegedly because some would say they're not legally married, but hey, I don't
Mhm.
know. I wasn't there. I didn't sign on the dotted line for them. But she married him before before he went to prison. And from what I've been told, side note, um, somebody's big brother told me that when a man wants to put a ring on your finger before he has to go, that's just to keep you from being with somebody
Mhm.
else. But
Gotcha.
they married before he went into prison. She kept his children that are not her children, not her biological children, but his children, as well as their child together. She fostered relationships with his other baby mamas so that their children could all play together and be in the same area together. And this
Mhm.
is going to lead us to our other conversation on the table tonight.
Okay.
But she went above and beyond to get herself into the political realm of things and start going out fighting for the health and well-being and the living conditions of those that are in the prison. She really inserted herself in that political conversation, even to the point of her campaigning with Tamika Mallory for Black Lives Matter. So
Mhm.
she's really gone above and beyond to stand by her man.
Yeah, and I even saw a picture online earlier. She got pepper sprayed or something for.
Yeah, exactly. Fighting for the
Hmm.
cause
Wow.
on behalf of her man. And with that being said, here we are today. They're on a new reality TV show. He's gotten out of prison. and
Mm-hmm.
they found themselves on this new reality TV show. I think it's something like Couples Island or something to that effect, where a bunch of couples are in a house together. Y'all know how these reality shows
Mm-hmm.
go. And the question was asked to him, would he hold her down the way she did for him? And his answer was he didn't think he could. So I want to know.
Amazing.
So I want to
Amazing.
know. I know the ladies are having a field day. Like, girl, we tried to tell you,
Yeah.
and I don't know how the men feel about it, but I know one thing. I have. This is just the Alabama church girl thoughts. Pastor didn't say this, and you don't have to agree with my opinion. You have
No,
your
that
own.
that
All
that's fine.
accountable.
We'll put that aside for tonight. Just come on, give it to us raw. Give it to us raw now.
I want to know, please drop down in the congregation and give us your testimony about how you feel and perceive these statements from her fiance. But as for me, the Alabama church girl, the way I see it is this. When we enter into this relationship, we entered into an agreement.
Yeah.
This is we go down to the courthouse because it's a legal agreement.
Mm-hmm.
And once you change the nature of the agreement, it not only changes for you, but it will change for me too. I'm not standing by nobody who can't stand by me. I'm not
Mm-hmm.
standing with nobody who can't stand by me. How can two walk together unless they
Mm-hmm.
agree? That's just the way I see it.
Yeah. I feel you 100%. And how long was he locked up? Do you know?
I want to say it was like somewhere between 6 to 8 years. That's a long time
Wow.
for a sister to be by herself.
6 to 8 years locked up, and he said she held him down the whole time, and he says he don't know if he could do the same thing for her.
Right.
Well, you know, one of my biggest triggers is disrespect, and that's to me that's blatant disrespect. I mean, a lot of people have said that sometimes I can be hard on women, but I mean I can be hard on the men too, because if we want to have women submit to us and follow our guidance and leadership and guidance, then we have to step up and bring something more to the table than just take all the time. And a lot of men need to grow up, and Mendices is one of the men that need to grow up. I mean, that kind of faithfulness and loyalty, that's extremely hard to find these days.
Exactly.
Extremely hard to find.
Well, I don't know, Pastor. You want
Hmm.
me to call? What do you want me to call you? You want me to call you Pastor? You want me to call you JD?
Call me JD.
Okay.
Call me
Okay.
JD.
All right.
Yeah.
So I don't know if I can say that because you see it a lot. A lot of black. Well, we go. I'm talking in my community because that's what I know best. Okay,
Right.
I'm more fluid in my community than others. So,
Right.
but a lot of us feel like it's necessary to stay loyal to a fault, to our own fault, to our own detriment. And I don't think so. I personally don't feel that way. But you got a lot of women that think that it's a trophy for them to be a ride or die. Look
Hmm.
at T.I. and Tiny.
Yeah. True. True. True.
And now it's almost as if I don't know what their situation is. I wasn't in the bedroom with them,
Hmm.
but it appears to be that she's standing by this man to the point where she already held him down while he was in prison, but it looks like
Yeah.
she could possibly go down with him. So I mean that's I don't need to have a man that bad. I don't.
Oh wow. Now that's a part that I didn't know, that you said she could possibly go down with him.
JD, where you been?
I
Okay,
listen. I don't keep up with the reality shows and all that stuff like I used to. Pop culture, celebrities. It's too much. I don't keep up with it like I used to.
okay.
So
So let me
she
let me
she
let me fill you in on that.
go ahead and fill me in real quick.
Okay, so we know how T.I. got arrested before about guns or whatever.
Hmm.
Having all these I think he had federal charges before, and
Yeah.
after you've had federal charges, you cannot legally possess a gun, and then he got caught
Right.
with one. So he went to jail, prison, whatever.
Mm,
Well, there are during is either during the holidays or at the top of the year this year
mm,
that these women started coming out saying that they have been um violate their person has been violated in a sexual manner. I won't use the R word,
mm.
but you know what I mean.
Yeah.
Um, and that they were drugged. They drugs were involved, and they thought that they were coming to participate in one manner,
Mm-hmm.
and it ended up being violation in an extreme manner. And when I say they
Mm,
thought that they were coming to participate, meaning they thought they were showing up for threesomes,
mm-hmm.
but it went well beyond what they expected, and it wasn't consensual.
Mm-hmm.
So I think the number is up to like somewhere between 14 and 18 women
Mm,
are now making these allegations.
mm.
Like I said, and then the allegations are not just against Ti. They are saying that Tiny was the ringleader.
Oh, wow. Yeah, I remember hearing about the allegations at the beginning, but I never really heard anything else since then. Wow, I didn't realize that.
Yeah,
Mm.
there.
So, I mean, now that's loyalty, but if Tiny was the ringleader, if Tiny was the ringleader, then who going down for who?
It sounds like they about to go down together, is what I'm telling
Mm-hmm.
you. And
Mm-hmm.
it also sounds like another situation of a woman being loyal to a fault in a
Mm-hmm.
different manner, because the it's alleged that she has low self-esteem,
Mm-hmm.
and
I can see that.
he has a Roman eye and a proclivity to multiple women.
Mm-hmm.
So to make a concession in their relationship, she participates and sets up these
Mm-hmm.
threesomes.
Ah. Mm.
And but she has to be in control.
Mm.
This is alleged, alleged,
Allegedly.
alleged. I should have worn my
Uh-huh.
shirt that says alleged, alleged, alleged. Okay.
Oh yeah, I got you. I got you. Well, I didn't know all that went down. Um, wow, I didn't know that
So,
that went
but
down
once
like that.
again, I say that's a woman being loyal to a fault, to her
Mm-hmm.
own fault. Thank you.
Mm-hmm.
A woman being loyal to her own fault, because I if I don't want to do it, I'm not gonna do it. And
Right.
if he just got to do it, guess what? We both gonna be doing some things. We just gonna have a whole open relationship. That's
Mm-hmm.
just the way it is.
Yeah,
If
I
he just
understand.
can't, he just got to have all these other people with that. I
Mm-hmm.
just got to go along with it, okay? And I'm gonna go along with it in a different manner.
Mm-hmm.
That's just the
Yeah,
way
I hear exactly what you're saying. Now, I call it Holly weird anyway. Those celebrities and things. They into some weird stuff. I just put it like that. But I think you're absolutely right. Sometimes women are loyal, to their detriment. But you know, at the same time, these men, black men in particular, we need to grow up. A lot of us need to grow up and be leaders, be the men that we say we are, put in the work and be able to show your work. And when you show your work, the leadership and the submissiveness and all the stuff that we looking for, I'm not gonna say it'll come natural all the time because sometimes women like to fight us on it anyway. At least a lot of modern women do. But we'll talk about more about that later on. But yeah,
You know I got a rebuttal.
oh yeah, and I can't wait to hear it. But yeah, these men need to grow up, and we need to be more responsible and accountable uh, about who we pick too. And then another thing about the black community is uh, I really feel like uh, counseling is something needed, like even early on in relationships, like for the early, like because sometimes we don't know the right questions to ask to kind of see, what's what about a person, or the real who's who, and then it takes us going through things like this, and then we find out who they really are, and then it's like, oh snap, now we stuck. We've invested all this time, energy, resources, and everything like that, and you don't want to just throw it down the drain. So I think, if you're in a committed relationship with somebody, I think therapy is something that's really needed, like early on in the relationship. And a lot of times it doesn't mean that, it's something wrong with you. Because I think we like to put uh, therapy and counseling in a negative light, for the lack of a better word. So I think if we start to look at counseling and therapy more as a positive thing, like you're trying to get on the right path, and trying to find out who you are, who this person is, I believe, a lot of this stuff will be mitigated. Am I right or am I wrong?
I totally agree with you. In fact, me and my guy went to counseling today. We are doing our premarital counseling.
Mm-hmm.
And something that you just said was mentioned in counseling today, that, sometimes people get together and don't really know the real person. And sometimes people get together and their motives are, the word that Pastor brought up today was shame, that we all carry around a certain level of shame. And sometimes people get into
Mm-hmm.
relationships with other people to help cover their shame. And
Mm-hmm.
I know we kind of touched on this a couple of nights ago, that, in our community, women see men as a prize.
Mm-hmm.
And we throw around that prize, or the lack of the prize, as a way to shame other women. Just like, how Panina was like, you don't have no man, you don't have no babies for that man. I mean, y'all been together all this time and you ain't got pregnant yet. What's wrong with you, girl? That, I call it the Panina spirit that women
Uh-huh.
in today's age have with each other. You ain't got no man. What's wrong with you?
Mm-hmm.
Your snatch must not be good if you ain't got no man. You
Mm-hmm.
know, you ain't
Yeah, yeah,
doing
yeah.
this right. You must not be able to cook if you ain't got no man. Like the man is a prize. And so I think that we carry around a level of shame in that aspect,
Mm-hmm.
or women can be made to carry around that level of shame, and they'll partner with somebody that might not be a soulmate. They might not be equally yoked. They might not be a suitable partner, but the fact that I got a partner helped me cover the shame that I didn't have one. You know what I
Mm,
mean?
kind of like a better than nothing type deal.
Exactly,
Mm,
exactly. And then you figure out after you in this relationship that you've committed, and you've professed to the world, I got a man. You see my man, girl, I got a
right, right,
man.
right.
Girl, I got
Yeah.
this man. You see my man, girl. I got
Mm,
this man. He fine, girl, ain't he fine? And
uh-huh.
then you find out that he's a whole hammerhead. You
Mm,
know,
yeah.
a whole piece of work that's really destroying you,
Mm,
destroying the soul of who you are. And that's unfortunate. We have got to do better. And I think counseling, like you said, can help us do better. And
right.
even to the point of knowing ourselves better. Because I don't ascribe to the thought that everybody is meant to partner
Mm-hmm.
in a marriage. Now,
Mm-hmm.
I do believe that it's not good for a man to be alone.
Uh-huh.
But it's okay that, hey, I fill my cup with friendships and family
Yeah.
instead of marriage, because I don't think everybody is meant to. I don't. I don't. I don't see that. Some people I don't even think are um marriage material. or
Yeah, yeah.
capable of being in a relationship in that manner. I just don't see
Mm.
that.
Right. Yeah, you're absolutely right. Because I mean, I can think of a few just right off the top of my head. Like, I don't know if marriage is exactly the right thing for you. And another thing too, like you have to be marriage minded. Like that's something people, to me, people don't just wake up and, oh, I want to get married today. You kind of have to have that foundation, to be marriage minded and to prepare yourself to be in a marriage long term. But back to Mendici's
Yandy.
initially. Then did I say it right?
Yeah, you did.
Yeah. So then after he started getting drugged, he tried to backtrack and post it and said that that's not what he meant, and then say, I'm paraphrasing here, but he said, I meant to say that nobody really knows what they would do. I mean, if that's your lady and she held you down like that, I mean, to me, it shouldn't be a question.
Right.
You know,
Exactly.
it's
Exactly.
time. It's time for a lot of men to stand up and actually be men. So I mean, I I tend to represent those kind of men because I'm all. That's why I named the group "Love and Relationships" because I'm all about love, black love, interracial love. No, I'm all about love and relationships and wanting to see two parent families.
Mhm.
Want to see two parent families again and be able to have a solid community, kind of like it was when we were growing up. You had maybe not in every household, but for the most part, sometimes it was you had men in the house and other men in the community that you know other young people could look up to. You at least had one or two up and down the street or around the block. Somebody that was a reputable and respectable man in the community that we all could look up to. And I just feel like we need to get back to that. And you know, I, some say it's the men, some say it's the women. When Mendices do something crazy like this, it makes it hard for me to defend us. And I try to defend the men at all costs because um, we're trying to do better. Black men are trying to do better, and I honestly believe that we can help turn this thing around. And like I don't know if you're aware of this or not, but uh, an overwhelming statistic has just come out. Well, maybe not just come out, but I just became aware of it that there's actually more black men in college now than uh, are incarcerated. So,
Really?
really,
I
really.
was not
So,
aware of that, which
so
is a wonderful
exactly.
statistic.
That is a wonderful statistic. So I really believe that black men are trying to do better, but is like I said, Mendices makes it a little bit hard to defend us sometime. But yeah, that wasn't cool at all.
And so, you just gave us a great segue into this next topic on the
I
table.
thought so. I thought so. Segue King.
Yes, because when we look around in the community in our childhood, yes, there were men in the community, men in the church as well, that you
Yeah.
could look up to be good mentors to a family, even if a household didn't have a male figure in it
Mm,
permanently. You had some males that can contribute to that household.
right.
Well, can we say that about today today's households in the black community?
No, the mass majority, I would say, an overwhelmingly no.
Can we say that there are men in the community that you can look to contribute to those households that don't have a permanent male figure?
I want to say yes and no. Yes, in the fact that There may be, but know in the fact that we are not as neighborly as we used to be back in the day. Because I've been in my neighborhood, 4 years now? This summer will be 4 years now. And it's neighbors I've never even spoken to in all these 4 years. I think I've actually held a conversation with one of my neighbors
So
in
I
four
want to
years.
say this. I think that there's an element of capitalism and classism that plays a major role in where we're about to go in this conversation.
Hmm.
Beep beep toot toot. Hey, Emmanuel Sanders.
Yeah, we got some comments that was coming in. I don't know who uh, who some of who some of y'all are. It's just coming up as Facebook user, but we'll work that out. But yeah, somebody said foundation is important, but
Very.
go ahead with your point you was about to make.
Okay, so I think that there's an element of capitalism and classism that plays a role in where we're about to go because there are some neighborhoods where there are men that play a supportive role and mentorship role,
Hmm.
but that's usually on a different tax bracket.
Hmm.
I'm being careful because I don't want to be offensive to anyone.
Within
I hear
you
you. I hear
cutting
you.
out.
Uh-oh, we don't hear you, Emmanuel. But in some of our lower tax brackets, how many of our males in the community do we want to play a mentorship role? Can we
Not
trust
many.
to be a positive influence?
Right. Not many. Not many. If any.
And I'm not trying to be funny.
Can y'all
I'm
hear me?
really trying to
Yeah.
be real about the conversation. I'm not trying to judge anything, but I'm really trying to state facts. I really
Hmm.
want to, honestly and authentically have the conversation that
Hmm.
I can recall when I first separated from my ex-husband and my tax bracket was lower
Hmm.
as a single female with a small child, male child. I I can recall riding around with a washing machine in my minivan for almost a month because there was nobody that I could trust to bring it upstairs to my apartment
Hmm.
without them wanting or expecting something from me that I'm not giving you rights to.
Right.
I just want you to bring this wash machine up here. I give you a couple
Hmm.
of dollars. That's all you're
Right.
gonna get. You know what I
Hmm.
mean?
Yeah, I'm with you.
And I
Yeah.
I don't know if I could trust sending my child over to your house to play because he might pick
Hmm.
up some habits or some other things.
Right.
So,
Right. Right.
that's just my truth and my reality. And I'm
Hmm.
sure that I'm not the only woman that has experienced that type of truth or reality.
Hmm. I'm sure that you're correct in that statement. But like I was saying, the neighborhood that I live in is it's a mixed community. It's predominantly black though. But what I find funny to me is that the only neighbor that I've spoken to over here happens to be an older white gentleman. None of I mean, I don't know what happened to our sense of community, but you know, it seems like we only want to stick together in the extreme times or in the wrong times. If something's not going on, we just go ahead about our business. But like you said, good segue into the next point. So, or the next topic that we want to talk about. So,
Before we move on, can y'all hear me?
yeah, we can hear you.
Yes.
Word, word.
Yeah, we can hear you. We can hear
I
you
got it
loud and
streaming
clear.
on. We streaming on caffeine. Just got a handful of folks in here.
Okay, all right,
Hola.
good. What's up, everybody? All right, so now I want to talk about, bring up this post that absolutely floored me. And I saw this on Instagram first from another content creator. And this is another post that's been going viral over the last couple of days. And I was having a discussion about somebody with somebody about this yesterday too. And I'm gonna read it to y'all and put it in the comments. Y'all chime in. Let us know what you think. It says, women, even if you're not quote unquote attracted to other women, I promise it's worth it to take a moment and deconstruct the standards of quote unquote family slash consider co-parenting with your friends. Look up compound living, etc. We really can imagine and implement a new way of life.
So when I seen that message that you did post and you said it floored you, right?
Yeah.
Imagine this. You know how a key and a key lock go together, right? A
Yep.
key unlocks a lock, right?
Yep.
Imagine a bunch of keys talking about we can do this. We don't need that lock. That's crazy. They
Yeah.
can do what they do and it may work, but the goal is to unlock the lock pad, right? So
Man, you
Exactly.
about to make me go get a glass of wine.
a bunch of women and a bunch of people can raise a kid, but you can't procreate. The goal is to procreate. If we want to stop that, if they trying to stop this, cool, do that. If you
I
want to
didn't read it that
continue,
way.
that's how I read it because that's what it boils down to. Because I'm biased. I'm biased, right?
Mhm.
I'm in a situation where you're trying to be the key in the key lock, but that key want to be that key and want to unlock other keys. Keys don't need unlocking. The
I
key
didn't
lock
read it
needs
that way.
unlocking.
I didn't read that way. Read it that way.
Well,
How, how did you read it?
all right, well, okay, we'll go to you, Val, and then I'll give
I'm
my
just
thoughts. Go ahead.
Are there any comments?
No, no, not
I'm
right
just
now.
speaking
Not
the
yet?
truth.
Okay. So here's how I read it.
Okay.
It's not saying procreation, Emmanuel. It's not asking about procreation. It's not even asking about love relationships.
But it's
It's
talking
talking
about
about,
relationships.
huh?
It's talking about relationships though, right?
No, it's talking about co-parenting, the co-parenting relationship.
Okay.
And I read it as, ladies, let's just get together and have a house together or a compound together where we're building a community to be able to raise these kids together. Basically a support team.
Mm-hmm.
That's the way I
Gotcha.
read it. And I think that that first statement throws people off because you're like, wait a minute.
Co-parent.
Uh, attracted to women. Wait a minute. But what I read was she's saying you don't have to be attracted to a woman because that's not the foundation of the relationship that I'm talking about.
Mm-hmm.
That's the
Gotcha.
way I
But
saw it.
here's
And
my
and with
feedback.
that being said, we've been doing that from the beginning of time. If you can't tell me that you don't know a grandma who done help her daughter raise her kids, you
All of them.
can't tell me you
All
don't
of
Yeah.
them.
know of aunties
Hey,
that
look,
have
look, look.
chipped in to help each other raise them
So
kids.
I'm a product of that.
Yeah,
I know that. That's
right.
when
So
it
that's
was.
the way I read it. It's just
But
the
here's the difference. That's pretending like the dude it's non-existent. We can't pretend like it wasn't redlining and systematic stuff in place. You know when they put women in the ghetto, the dude can live there. To as today, my mama live in this battered woman's home, right? She live in a battered woman's home right today. No male can live in that house because she's battered.
Mhm.
Do you know who her son is at that house today? Her husband. He pretending to be me. It's it's low rent. She can stay there because of the system, right? That's a narrative. They put up ghettos. The dude can't be there. What can he do? hey, I want my
Right.
woman to have this house. So when it ain't that it said women and women and like you thought that's what we thought. It was co-parent, co. I'm 50%. The woman's 50%. When I see that co-parent and the dude ain't in place, it's hey women, let's come together and co-parent. Where am I at?
So I will say this. I see your point, and your point is very valid. And I
If
do
me
have
and you, if me and you not being together and we're not together and we're not getting along, we still got a co-parent.
right, but I know that there are a multitude of women who don't have the other parent that's willing to co-parent.
Mhm.
They're not even trying to co-parent.
In
So,
my
but
experience,
that
there's
woman
a lot
gives.
of women who won't allow the guy to co-parent either.
That is true. That is true. I don't negate that.
This personal experience, I'm fresh off the wagon. I'm Mr. You was talking about, dude, you made less, whatever. I make a substantial amount of bread, right? Substantial. I want to be, I don't even want the mama involved. I'm good. I can take care of my kid. But the structure we're used to, she want that child support. She wants that. But I'm not about that. I'm going to be in my child's life regardless, right? I don't
So,
care about what you used to.
right, but
Mhm.
see, the way I saw it is this was a woman
Co-parent
that
affects me. You see what I'm saying?
I see
Because
you're
if the
triggered.
dude's there, now I'm fighting like Tyson. Come on, I'm fighting. Now you said co-parent. I don't care about the woman part. The
Yeah.
co-parent part, no. Let us fight it out.
Let's see. But see what I the way I read it as though this is a community of women who y'all know as black people, period. We know how to survive.
Yeah.
And if we don't do nothing else, if we freaking survived slavery and we still here. We don't die, we
Mhm.
multiply. That's
Look,
that's
I'm
just
gonna
the
give
way we
y'all a
are.
cheat code. I'm gonna give y'all a cheat code. And if y'all want to participate, let's participate.
Okay.
Okay.
Like
But what I was about to say
I'll,
is
I go ahead, go
I
ahead. My
saw
bad.
it as women who say we don't have that other parent here. So since we don't have that other parent here, let's get together and we help each other parent. That's the way I read it. And I
Well,
see that happening. And even if you go back to our history, to our roots in Africa, that's just the way it is anyway. While the men are out working to help provide for that family, those women are in that house together. There are no such thing as retirement homes and nursing homes in our motherland. You know why? Because those mothers, those grandmothers, great grandmothers come into the house, they help raise them babies, and them babies take care of grandma.
Yeah, but
well,
it's that's because of batter. That's because of the situation we was put in, right? We were property. We were slaves. We were bullshit, right? They killed the toughest dudes that tried to fight back for your respect, right? They killed us off, right? They hammer it. They made babies. That's why we got all these light skinned people. They
No, I'm
they made
talking about even prior to us getting
no
over here
prior
to
to
this
that.
land.
Prior to that, it was kings and queens and everything was lovely.
Yeah.
However, the problem I have now is it's systematic or systemic, whatever they call it, right? Dudes fighting for their thing. It triggered me when I seen let's form a community. We got a community of dudes that's fighting to see their kids, that's fighting back child support, that's fighting the system because somebody win a dispute.
Yeah, there are those situations, but then there are some other situations
It's a
where,
lot of sorry situations too. I
yeah.
understand. I know that. I know that. But it's a bunch of guys out here trying, and I don't want them to be lost in the sauce.
And
They can't
I
be
yeah.
think
lost in
that
the sauce.
whoever wrote that statement on Twitter or whatever platform, they were crafty. They knew how to get a
They
response.
know how to get that response. Yeah.
Yeah. And see, just like co-parent triggered Emmanuel, the thing that triggered me was deconstruct the standards of family.
Hmm. I
That's
saw
what
that.
triggered me. So I mean, so I read it as women want to go this far to not need a man or to prove that they don't need a man. That's why I read it as.
So check
Like you
this
want
out,
to go
Carl.
to the,
Check
you
this
want to
out,
go,
Carl.
wait, hey, hang on just a second. You want to go to the extreme of saying, okay, we might be attracted to women or we might be attracted to you, but even if you're not attracted to women, I promise it's worth your time to deconstruct the family and come on over here with us.
Now, my reply to
That's
you,
insane to me.
listen to my reply. Imagine if we did that. Hey, forget the women. Jeff, us, me and these men. Let's
Well, it's
deconstruct.
already going on.
Listen, let's deconstruct the woman, and let's get together and raise kids. Just us
Damn
men.
man said that.
Ain't that gay?
No,
It
it
would.
ain't. No, it's not. A man should take care of his children.
No, no, no.
Well,
Most
I'm talking about.
yeah.
men
No, time out.
So,
No, ho, ho, ho.
what did you just
She
say?
said the man should take care of his children, just like the woman should take care
should
of her
take
children.
care of her kids,
We're
right?
talking about the
And I ain't
women.
calling them
And
gay
so,
because they
listen,
want to take
listen,
care of their
listen,
kids,
listen.
not the man or the
I
woman. That
said,
ain't not. Mm-mm.
just like I just said, the women. I'm talking about the men now, not the man. The men. The men should take care of their children, and we should exclude the woman. Y'all get out the way. All
Yeah,
us niggas, we gonna take care of the woman. We gonna take care of our kids. We don't need the woman.
yeah.
Let's get together, Jeff. Let's take care of everybody's kids.
That's
They
gonna be
would
a
have a
solo
fit.
dolo campaign.
I
Yeah,
know it
women
is.
would have a fit.
They would die.
But,
They would get us.
No,
but
so now some women I believe would drop their kids off if you did say that.
I want that, but that ain't the case.
You would have more kids in line than you have men though.
yeah, but
We out here. We out here.
the thing about it is, like, I believe in two parent households. Like, why is it that some women feel like the man don't need to be in the child's life? Now let's put
Because they
aside
mad
the
at you.
one.
They mad at you.
Let's put aside the ones that we know are deadbeats. We talking about all of the ones that want to do right and are trying to do right. Because the fact of the matter is, it's more eligible black bachelors out here than
Ah,
what more people think. Really.
I don't know.
And a lot of women are saying, "Oh, there's no good men." It's a lot of good men.
Well, I'll
But
I'll be frank. I'll be frank.
they're gay. If they're not a good man, then they try to play the gay card. Well, all
I'll
of them must be gay, or
look,
all
look,
of them
look,
must like white
look.
girls or
That ain't the
something.
case. That ain't the case. I'll be frank. So it takes two people to have a kid, right?
Right.
However, the mother was designated by the Lord to be the apartment building for the kid, right? She has the kid. She sit
You
with that
let
kid
me
for
turn
nine.
this ear over here and listen a
Let
little
me
harder.
finish. Let me finish. The woman was designated. It ain't her choice, but she was designated to hold the kid for 9 months. She
Mm-hmm.
go through the hemorrhoids. She go through the pain. She go
Mm-hmm.
through the lack of people. She go through feeling not being pretty, taking care of that kid, so I can understand
Tread
her
light
entitlement. I can understand her entitlement
to
of
them babies.
she does entail the bear of the hard work. However, I will accept going through that hard work to charge a dude for 18 months, 100, 200, $300,000.
So
However, let me finish. But my thing is, how about forget that? Hey, this is life. Work to make sure our kid has the best life. Not we hate each other. We fight and I went through this. It's the kid, right? Let's work on making sure our kid is the next Barack Obama. Let's work on making sure our kid has the best life ever. Let's work on that instead of saying, I resent you because I went through this and you didn't like me.
Hmm.
so
Come on with it.
Because I'm trying to raise Barack. I ain't trying to raise your feelings. I'm trying to raise Barack.
okay. So I will say I understand that there is a segment of women that are just, for lack of better words, trifling.
Wow, wow.
I understand that there are some women who their aim, their goal is to trap men so
Mm-hmm.
that they can get chicks.
Wow,
I
wow.
understand that there are some women, well, I think all women understand the power of the WAP.
Mm-hmm.
But I know that some women only know a little tad bit taste of what the WAP can do. And they operate and they pursue men on the lower end of vibration. Stay with me.
I'm
Mm-hmm.
following you. We following
And that lower end says, if I have this baby, I'm gonna get a check.
you.
I understand that.
Mhm.
Mm-hmm.
But I want to speak on the higher end, those women that are vibrating on a higher frequency,
Mm-hmm.
that they intend to have a family. They
Mm-hmm.
have a baby because they intend to have a family. These are the women that I want to speak about.
Mm-hmm.
These are women who understand the autonomy of their body. That when they got pregnant, they said they made the decision, okay, this is a baby that I want. I'm not going to abort this baby. I'm not going to give this baby away. This is a baby that I want, and I want to
Mm-hmm.
have it with this man that I chose to lay down with. And this man and I are going to raise this child together.
Until he
And
makes
she
me
made that
mad.
decision. She made that decision, but he didn't make that decision. He said,
Mm-hmm.
"Hell no, that ain't my child." That's
Mm-hmm.
that's these are the women that I'm talking about. That
Mm-hmm.
say, "No, I don't want no parts." And
Hold
the woman
on.
say, "Okay, but this my baby, and I chose to have this baby, so I'm gonna have to choose how I'm gonna raise this baby without his participation." Those are the women that I'm
That's
speaking of.
that's the ideal situation. I'm talking about everyday life when you do get pregnant by a guy you know you weren't gonna be with. You know one shit, but you had a baby and now his life is hell. That's one instance. What about the dude you had the baby with that loves kids? That's me. But we don't get along. That's still me. But now that we always knew we weren't gonna be together, but now that he says we won't be together, your life is hell.
And see, that's trifling. That's trifling, and
I
that's
know it's trifling.
selfish. That's
I
Mm-hmm.
know it's
selfish,
trifling.
in my
Yeah.
opinion, because I understood. I don't know if you know, but I'm a divorced woman. I had a child with my ex-husband, and at the time that I chose to be pregnant and have a baby, I was very much in love with him. I very much so thought that we're gonna raise this child together. I realized that he had a different idea, but
Mm-hmm.
I could have, through our divorce process, I could have said no. He doesn't have any other access to his child, and I on all this child support. But I did not. You know why? Is because I understood that I was afforded the opportunity to have my father in my life, and it would be selfish of me to take his father out of his life. We
Mm-hmm.
can live separately, and you still participate in this child's life because we didn't
Mm-hmm.
make this baby separately. We were fully together
Mm-hmm.
when we made this baby.
And you said y'all were married when you had a baby.
We were.
Well, and see that's a little bit different of a situation there because I was just about to say one way to eliminate a lot of this, is not have a baby until you get married because
But
a lot of
even in
people.
that situation,
Well, yeah, but I believe stuff like this will happen a lot less. Uh, if we took that factor out of it.
hmm
Y'all hang on a second. Y'all keep talking. I'll be right back.
okay. But yeah, even with those who don't get married, you could still properly co-parent. My sister has two kids. Her and her kids' father, they have the same father. They never got married, but they co-parent well. Their relationship didn't work out, but they do co-parent well. And I commend her for that. She's the type woman I don't think she's ever gonna get married, but that's her choice. That she chooses not. It's not because she can't. It's not because it ain't no suitors. That's her choice.
Yeah.
But it's all good. It's all good, in her neighborhood. And I saw that comment from a different perspective because I was thinking of women who had.
Everybody see comments from their perspective, right?
You're right. You're right. You're right. And I
So
think
when I
that
seen
whoever.
it and I seen co-parent, I'm like, you're bugging because it's dudes like me out here trying to do the best you can, and they talking like that. That's the wrong message.
So I
Include the dude. Like the dude, you cannot get pregnant without the dude. Period. You can't. So we can talk this women empowerment. We can talk this community, but you didn't have that kid without the dude, right?
right.
And
Mhm.
if you got a dude that's fighting for the kid, give him his props. Like, let's not cut the dude out. I'm getting tired of that because
But
we
see the
fight.
reason.
We
Right,
fight.
right. The reason why I saw it differently is because if these women are trying to come together, well, if these women had that man that you're representing
But
that's fighting to be with the child, she wouldn't need another woman to help
you
her co-parent.
lying, and this is why you're lying because she's mad at him.
So, I think
Her
I think
friends are saying rah rah, but dude is like, it ain't about your feelings. It's not about you. It's about our kid, and she take that as you don't want to be with me. I'm going through that right now, so I know.
I know. I think you're taking it way
Yeah,
more
I'm taking
personal.
it serious because it's like I don't care about you. I don't care about my feelings. I care about the child. But it's
Right.
like, but I was pregnant for 9 months, and and it's like, cool. But let's not forget, you didn't want me for 9 months, but I wanted my kid for 9 months. I told you to keep him for 9 months. But now you hate me because I'm not lovey dovey, but I'm lovey dovey with him. Why beat me up?
So, and what about that woman who was just, friends with benefits and ended up
I
pregnant
ain't got
and
no
then
none. I ain't got none of them pregnant, so I don't
But
know.
see, but see that's the thing though. I mean, we all know how to take preventative measures to prevent a pregnancy from coming up. Now, see, if you require marriage before you have a baby, a
Who
lot
that?
of the no good dudes are run away
It's
from
no
that.
time out. Let me tell my story.
And then wait. Let me make one more point too, because it's not just on the men either. Some women don't mind having a baby for a man, but they don't want to get married either. And I
that's
don't
what I was just
understand.
talking about while you were away.
I don't know what this backwards thinking is or where it came from. Oh, I take the baby, but I don't want the marriage because to me having a baby is more serious than the marriage because that child is going to bind you for 18 years, whether you
Yeah.
know it or you don't. You know, if things don't work out between your marriage, I mean, you can still go down to the courthouse and get a divorce. You know, even before you have
But
children,
that's
or even afterwards, though. But why are people so afraid of marriage but not afraid of having children?
because marriage, I think, is a situation that you can't control. You can't control it. You don't know, you can't control what this other adult person is going to do in this marriage.
Mm-hmm.
And having a baby, you have a level of authority, i.e.,
That's true.
control over that
That's true.
situation.
Mm-hmm. So it's basically
It's
about a
like this.
control thing.
It's like this, Joe. With marriage, they can control what you do, like she just said, right? It's true.
Mm-hmm.
With
I
a
and then I,
baby,
I'm
she got
sorry.
the system against your ass, just like the whole world is against your ass. She can have them boys on your ass, and she can f up your life by law. Baby mamas is
Okay.
just like the clan. They will mess an N word up when it comes to
Okay.
a baby.
Check this. We got a
Marriage
comment.
ain't got nothing to do with nothing. Marriage is two people loving each other, caring for each other, wanting the future. But a baby, they got the system on their side.
Look, you see what Miss Ismi Lala states?
Yeah. Yeah. Okay. But she says it wasn't meant that way. Clearly, they have the desire to be with a man if they have children. Okay. Well,
Right.
okay, what does that mean? Clearly, they have the desire to be with the man. So do
So that
women think that having a baby will keep a man around rather than
Hey,
marriage?
that's my
no, I
experience.
think she's referring back to the comment where in the comment she says you don't have to be attracted to a woman. They're not talking about sexually attracted to a woman. They're not saying that this is a bunch of lesbian women coming together on a compound to exclude men. They have a desire for a man because they got children. How did they get the children? Like we just said, it took the man and a woman to procreate and have this baby. But if the man is not present in the process, then why not women come together to help facilitate the raising of these children? Thank you, Miss It's Me
Mhm.
Lala.
She says exactly. Okay, so check this out though. Check this out. It wasn't meant to be that way. Now, some people want the baby and don't want the man. Prime example.
This is
True
true
story.
also.
True story. I just talked to a lady. I can't remember. It was one day earlier. I think it was Monday. I talked to a lady Monday, and she said she had not, found somebody she wanted to be with by the time she got a certain age, and she made a deal with one of her friends to have a baby. Okay, she wanted a baby. He wanted a baby. So they got together and had a baby.
Mhm.
But he had a job here in our state, and all of a sudden she wanted to go pursue a degree or a career somewhere else and up and move and take the baby with her
Mhm.
across state. Now they agreed and they came into this agreement to have this child together and to co-parent and raise this child together. But now all of a sudden she want to switch the plan, and now it's my baby. And this
Mhm.
man wants to be in the child's life, and then ended up leaving. And she's telling me this like she's in the right, like I was going, like I was going root it up for or something. But you know, it's those kind of situations too, and I find stuff like that happens more often than not. People are afraid of marriage for whatever reason, but they don't mind having a baby for it. And then on top of that, like we should be selective, really, really selective about who we have children with. Now, we all know all of the preventative measures and everything like that. But if we get married before we have children, it will eliminate a lot of these problems and give more of an incentive to have a two parent home. Because
But
I
JD,
go ahead, go ahead.
can I explain some realities for you?
Explain some realities, please.
The pickings are slim on both sides. The pickings are slim on both
Now,
sides.
what do you
You
mean
just
by?
made you just mentioned a statistic to me that I was not aware of, but I
Mm-hmm,
know the flip side too. You just
mm-hmm,
mentioned to me that there are more black men in college than there are in prison now, which is a wonderful statistic to have.
mm-hmm,
We also know that the most highly educated group of demographic in the United States is black women.
mm-hmm,
So we are pursuing higher education, which means I don't want a baby just yet.
mm-hmm.
I'm not trying to get in a long-term relationship just yet because relationships and children represents other responsibility that I can't take on while I'm pursuing all these degrees and all this extra career. I can't do it. I can't do it. But
Mm-hmm.
when I'm ready to have a baby, I can drop in, have this baby. It'll fit in my program because I can pick up and take this baby along with me. But I might not
Mm-hmm.
be able to pick up. This man might not want to go along with me. This
Okay.
woman might say, I ain't leaving my job. I'm not leaving my career to go wherever you trying to fancy yourself to go. That's what I
Mm-hmm.
mean when I say that there are other factors. And have you ever been divorced?
Yes, I
I know
have.
it's easy to say that. Do you know how divorce feels like death? It literally
Yes.
is a death in your
Yes,
life.
absolutely. Yeah, yeah. I've
And
been
who wants to
divorced.
go through that, honey? I told my guy, my fiance, who's about to be my second husband, I ain't
Mm-hmm.
doing that no more.
Mm-hmm.
We're gonna get married and we're not going through no divorce. It's gonna be to
Mm-hmm.
death do us part. Now we might change the agreement to look a different way than what we
Mm-hmm.
started, but we're
Right.
gonna go through this marriage for the rest of my life because that's the worst feeling that derailed my life in such a way that I'm still recovering from.
Mm-hmm. I understand. I've been there.
So I'm not
I've
doing
been
that
there.
again. I'm
Mm-hmm.
not doing that again. And who wants to? And if you've ever
Mm-hmm.
experienced it as an adult or as a child going through a divorce, you learn from that. That's not something we're gonna do. I can have a baby, and it's been proven that women can take care of children by themselves. It's been proven that men can take care of children by themselves. But what
Mm-hmm.
hadn't been proven is people can emotionally recover from terrible
Mm-hmm.
relationships.
Mm-hmm. Now that's true too. But also you mentioned something about the picking two things I want to lift up. The pickings being slim and black women being the most educated. Okay. Now, what what's the reason to why black women want to put so much stock in education and not as much stock in family?
So the black
Because
women are the most enrolled in education. It's not like they're actually the most educated. They're the most enrolled.
yeah, that's true too.
But
That
think
is,
about the doctorate degrees.
I
but
don't think about doctorate degrees. I think about my life and my education and all this chatter about your degree. You can have your doctorate degree, master's degree, bachelor degree, but if you're working at Miss Janetti's hair fixing joint, what your degree prove?
Right, but the
If you got all them
statistic,
degrees and you making 60K, what you doing?
yeah. But did you finish your question, JD?
oh no, I'm
The
just
slim
listening. But
pickings.
yeah, yeah. But the slim pickings. Why is it that? And I'm not saying I'm an advocate for education, but why is it that so many black women put so much stock in education and not as much effort in relationships? Because in my experience and from what I've seen, like like I said, the statistic earlier, black men are trying to do better, and that's good. I'm an advocate for all that. But a lot of times it seems like women get the education and then hold it over a man's head that's maybe not as much as educated. Because
I think differently.
here's what a disconnect is too. Uh, how long typically does it take somebody to finish uh, a master's degree, MBA for an example,
It only takes
average?
about 2 years, 2 to 3 years, but they're usually by the time you get your master's or your doctorate, you're knocking on 30.
Yeah, exactly. And then by the time you're knocking on 30, then that biological clock starts
Clock is
ticking.
ticking.
And then
Hmm.
you start not to make as wise decisions as you maybe would have when your biological clock wasn't ticking. So then, you spend all this time going to school. And again, there's nothing wrong with going to school. There's nothing wrong with education. I'm an advocate for it. But you spend all of this time and then all of a sudden you look up, you're 30, and it's like, oh, snap. I got to hurry up and get this thing into motion as to where, we can put more emphasis on school, I mean, on relationships and still go to school at the same time. Because the thing of it is a lot of our other brothers and sisters that don't look like us, they typically spend more time going to weddings and going to family functions during the summer while we hot girls summering up.
Listen, you about to make me really go off. I told you you were gonna try to pull the ratchet out of the Alabama church girl tonight.
Hey, well, I mean, pull it out tonight. But I mean, am I right? Am I right? Or am I wrong?
So I agree with you that there
Mm-hmm.
are other races that do hold the family at a higher esteem than we have
Mm-hmm.
in our community. I agree with you
Mm-hmm.
that there are other races that their goals include creating a family.
Mm-hmm.
I think that their goals include creating a family because creating a family is also extending the wealth.
Mm-hmm.
I think that yes, I do see that, but I also know that with where we are as a culture, education has been our tool to getting to the wealth. So I think that that's why education is pushed so heavily. But
Mm-hmm.
our system is set up to where our education system has a pipeline for the young boys to go from school to prison, and
Mm-hmm.
it's there's an opening and an avenue for the young girls to continue to excel. I
Mm-hmm.
think that with that being said, it causes a challenge in the way we view the structure of the family,
Mm-hmm.
because the traditional African American family or the traditional African American mindset regarding family is that man is the head of household. He takes care of the household. That woman is supposed to take care of the house.
Mm-hmm.
Now you got these highly educated women that are saying, I can run this household. I can take care of this household. I make well enough to take care of this household. But what you're not going to do is run me. Or men that want the women to slow down and stay home more instead of pursue career more. And that's where the challenges are. And I think that that's where women are saying, no, I'm gonna go get my career. You're not gonna stop me from getting my education. You're not gonna stop me from pursuing this career. And guess what? You can't even stop me from having a baby, because I can do that too. Because I'm every woman. I think that's where we are.
May I go, Cotter?
Yeah, come with it.
Well, will you finish making your point, Val?
Pretty much, yes.
All right, go ahead, Emmanuel. Come on, get it
he got
together
he
now.
got him some good old
That's
cereal.
all depend on the narrative, right? That's the nonchalant narrative that's put on us. Exactly what you said, right? In reality, it may be different. Like when I wake up and I do my thing, it may be different from how you see things, right? That's a fact.
Mm-hmm.
So
Yeah.
it's like this. It's the way I just heard it was black folks, we do stuff different and it's lesser. We
What
see
do
it
you mean it's
lesser.
lesser?
That's what I just heard from what you just said, right? Like we may the girls do this, the men do this. In reality, with the white women, they when they have newborns, a lot of them flush them down the toilet. That's a fact. A lot of them let their grandma pretend it's their baby. We do that too, but that's a fact. They can front and pretend all their life, but when we come to the black community, we come hard at us. We say this how it is, this how it ain't. That never a fact. A lot of us do let our grandparents raise us because our mamas in the '80s crack was introduced. That's a fact. However, we don't take our shit like whatever our life was and is how we portray it in the future, right? With them white folk, it's bullshit. They ain't gonna come. They don't hit each other and say, "Hey, we're a society to flush our kids down the toilet." They don't do that.
I think
But
you're
they,
making some real
but
strong statements,
no, no,
sir.
but I'm being real. Like Casey Anthony, she drowned her kids, right? You don't hear white women. perpetuating that, saying white women flush their kids down the toilet, but they do, right?
But I
They
mean,
actually do,
yeah, okay. So there are some people
right?
that do some terrible
They
things
do that, right?
in
So
all
my,
in all races.
exactly.
Mm.
So that's
Mhm.
why I hate when we say, "Well, this is what we do." It's not. No, we don't do it because we want to. We do it because of situational awareness and whatever happens, right? So they do stuff. It's just not highlighted. They do some crazy stuff. It's not highlighted like we highlight ours. So,
Come on, Smack Jacks.
but look, I'm sorry, I'm eating. I'm hungry. But my thing is, let's kill our narrative of putting us down. We do a lot of stuff. My grandma raised me, but she was neighbors to Mr. Preacher and Mr. Cottle. His mama raised him and raised him well,
Mhm.
right? I was his neighbor. We
Mm.
had the same community.
Yeah.
It
So,
ain't.
but where
It's
do you
not
think
about it.
that?
Go
Where do
ahead. Go
you
ahead.
think that the analogy that I just gave was lesser than anyone else? Because
Well,
I didn't see it that
well,
way.
not, it ain't your narrative. It's triggers, right? So when you say a certain thing, it's what I've heard before, right? So when we say this is what we do, it's like, hey, we didn't do this by our choosing. We did this by design, right?
Right, but then we have to acknowledge that even in that design, this is where we are, and we got to live through it, and we got to get through it.
By choice. Because the way I see it is you see that, you learn from it, and you make better decisions, right?
Okay, so can I give you an example?
Yeah, go ahead.
And this is a personal example. My mother was college educated, and my father did not even graduate from high school.
Hmm.
Her traditional church upbringing says that she was supposed to get married and raise a family
Hmm.
and submit to her husband. Well, he had a real complex with the fact that she was much more educated than him. And it caused a lot of confusion in the house because he just couldn't deal with the fact that she wanted to not just get her education and sit at home. She wanted to have a career.
Here's the
And
problem. I
yeah,
got
and
you.
he really, and then she was making more money than him, and it was really, he had a real problem with that. And it's like, that's what I mean when I say, it really shakes the foundation of how we view family. And
Mm.
sometimes, like we discussed earlier, it's probably beneficial if we go through some counseling to help us establish, okay, how are we going to make family look so we can still have a two-parent household
Now, let me
Mm.
rebuttal that because you
and a
are absolutely
successful
right.
one.
You are absolutely right in everything you said, right? Everything you said was right. The only problem I had with what you said was she was educated, right? He's not, correct? Joining a union is equally yoked type stuff, right? So you're supposed to be getting with somebody who's equally yoked with you. You can't get with somebody who's, and this ain't got nothing to do with you. This got something to do with all of some of our situations, right? So the whole goal is to get with somebody that's equally yoked. So if you're already getting with somebody who ain't even on your standard level, nothing, and you're trying to reason, who does it fall on?
It's going to cause contention.
It's
Mm.
it's already contention.
Mm-hmm.
What's the problem? Because it's like he may not be aware or smart enough to grasp where you're thinking, but it also lies on you too, because it's like you knew that ahead of time.
Mm-hmm.
You knew that.
Mm-hmm.
You knew he wasn't yoked with you, but you want to deal with it. And we all fall for it. I'm falling for it now. So I
So do you see
know,
why I said that in today's society, there are a lot of women that are mitigating the whole problem by saying, okay, I'm not going to get married. I'm just going to have a child when I'm ready to
but
have a child.
that's lazy. It's like
It is.
I'm not gonna find nobody I'm equally partnered with. I'ma just give up.
Mm-hmm.
That's lazy.
It is. It
So,
is.
but it's
Because, and
perfectly
I'm going to
okay
say
if
this.
you're
Can I
okay
say
with
this?
it. Go ahead.
I'm about to say something controversial, and both of you men are gonna jump on me, and I know it.
Go ahead.
I
Go
don't
ahead.
Okay,
care.
come
I'm
on.
strong. I can handle it. So, a lot of times, I have seen where men are saying, well, what is she bringing to the table? And she can bring the whole table and the chairs and the meal prepared. So in that picture, all you can present to her is your appendage. And so that's all she wants. Bring that over here when I want it, and you can go back to where you were because I'm at my own table.
Oh,
But you see you see the problem with or see where a
let me
man would
tell
have
her.
a problem with that. And see, the thing of it is, a man wants to feel needed. A man wants to feel wanted as well, and a man is naturally wanting to be that leader. And okay, just because you have a higher earning potential or earning more money than him, or just as much money as it, that doesn't take away the fact that he's supposed to be the head of the household and the leader.
Right, but
And
what
that
I'm saying, what I'm pointing out to you is these men need to get this off their mind. Well, what she bringing to the table? If that's what you want to hear,
Never,
because honestly, if you want to be the head of household and you want to be the provider, and then it don't matter what I got to bring to the table.
never.
mm.
It
So
doesn't.
I'm gonna spin it for.
Hang on, let Valerie finish real quick. Go ahead.
It doesn't matter what I got coming to the table. What
Mm.
you need to know is I wanted you in my life. And if you feel like you got to know, well, what am I bringing to the table? I'm gonna put my balls up just like you put your balls up. That's just the way I see it. If that's your question, and
Mm.
I'm gonna tell you, all you can give me now is that appendage. That's all I want from you.
And see,
Gotcha.
and that's the thing. Like I was talking about earlier, um, a lot of men need
What
to
you
grow up and
brought.
not just say they want to be a leader, and they actually have to show the work to be a leader.
So
Uh,
can let me. I got to say something. I'm burning. I
go
want to
ahead.
say something.
Please.
So that sounds good, right? That sounded
Mm.
good. Like we are the women, right?
Mm.
However, you got dudes who bout that. So it's like, what do you bring to the table? Because I don't want to be on child support. I don't want you pulling from me because of your shortcomings in your life, right?
But
So
you can
without
tell that through conversation.
hold, let me keep going.
Okay.
You just talked about dudes and they need to do this. I'm a dude that do that, right? You, not you. They ain't making more than me. They ain't putting in more work than me. I cook every day. I'm teleworking so I can be with the kid every day. I do everything. And I'm really asking you, what do you bring to the table that I can't bring? If it ain't love, respect, and all that, yeah, I'm gonna ask because I don't need you freeloading. It's the truth.
Well,
It's
I
And that
like
agree.
a lot of women
I
do
love
deal.
the
Hold on,
fact.
hold on. A lot of dudes, I mean, a lot of women do deal with dudes that ain't grown up. But what about the grown up dude talking about how you grown, woman? Are you grown?
Yeah.
Like, are
So
we both grown?
yeah.
mm.
I
And
think
then
that you
about that
can.
woman, it's about both of us. What are we bringing to the table? And that's why they ask that. A lot of kids ask that question. But I'm talking about when a grown man come to you and say, "What do you bring to the table?" He mean it, and that's just
Yeah,
that.
Mm.
but I think that it could cause more problems than it could solve them.
Mm.
Because, and I'm gonna say this: I love the fact that my God never asked me that, because
Mm.
I could tell by the lifestyle he presented to me where he stood, and he could probably tell by the lifestyle that I presented to him where I stood. So us coming into a love relationship, that wasn't a question.
Mm.
Now, it wasn't until recently that I even showed him what was in my account, and he was like, "Whoa! Like I didn't know you were bringing that to the table. Thank God."
Mm. Mm.
And I'm okay with that.
But that's my
Mm.
thing. Why do y'all have a complex with y'all's bread?
I don't. I don't. I
Like,
don't.
why do you feel happy he didn't ask you about your money, but you would
Because I
never be
didn't.
with a dude who ain't got no money?
Because I don't want him to feel like he needs me to provide like he provide.
What grown
Mm.
man would?
Hmm.
Yeah, but see that
Absolutely.
when you ask that question, that's what it sounds like to my ears. So if you need me to provide like you provide, then I'm gonna show you I can provide now.
But here,
We're just
I
not trying
think
to be trapped. That's it. We're just not trying to be
But
trapped.
I think that
I
that's
think
something that is. Go ahead. I'm sorry, JD.
I think some of the misconception is uh, a lot of times men don't really care that much about how much money you make, really, because men like me and Emmanuel, we already, like you said, we already know what we bring to the table, our earning potential, and everything like that. So when we ask a woman, we mean that. When we ask a woman, "What do you bring to the table?" For me, it doesn't really have anything to do with her resources.
Thank you.
It has something to do with how can you add value to my life? How can you pour into me without you draining my resources and just taking from my cup? You know,
And
I say it all the time. You can't pour out from an empty cup. And when we out here working, we out here grinding, we out here trying to keep a roof over the head, trying to protect ourselves in these streets and trying to protect our women too, that takes a lot out of you. And
yeah,
instead of coming home to this, we need to come home to some nurturing. And you know,
yes,
you can't even hardly ask a woman if she can cook anymore without almost getting your head chopped off. Oh, you want me to be a slave? You want me to? My grandma died cooking for my granddaddy, da, 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 da. And that's not. They coming from a disingenuous
You
place
can't even
when they
ask
say
how
that.
old they are.
You can't even
excuse
ask
me.
how old they are.
May I say something?
Yes.
Ladies and gentlemen, please excuse us through this commercial break. This is Pastor JD Cottle. He is single and available. Did you see how long his fingers are, ladies? And he is a good man. Inbox him
Yes.
tonight.
Don't get me in trouble now.
I'm just trying to help a brother out.
Don't get me in trouble. That's what we're asking for. That's exactly what we're asking. It really doesn't even have anything to do with your resources, because uh, a man like us that's out here on our square, on our grind, trying to be helpful to the community and everything else.
but
We
but
already know
it,
we
it boy,
carrying the
look,
majority of the load anyway,
it
because that's what we're supposed to do as men.
it
Hmm.
boiled down to this. Folks are so deprived, and they ain't nobody got no money for real unless you up top, right? You so deprived, folks will do whatever they can for money. And that's what it boiled down to. It's about your character, right? That's why I trip on folks who gunning for, like, let's say you have a kid. Dude don't want to be with you, but he want to be in his son's life. A lot of folks gun for his money.
But see, I think just proper discernment is
And it's
definitely
like,
necessary in that dating and courting process. If you're really looking for a partner, you can discern some things just by how they talk, how they act, what they present, how quick are they to spend their money, and how much
Mm-hmm.
money are they spending
here's
quickly.
the
That's
here's the
those are type
problem.
of things that you
Here's
you
the
pay attention
problem.
to.
Here's the problem when it comes to men with women. We like you. We don't we see your mistakes just like you see our mistakes. But we'll see your mistakes and we're like, we'll deal with it. But when it come to making babies and stuff like that, money the first thing to pop up.
Mm-hmm.
Period. That's the first thing to pop up. What y'all, how you treat me is like the biggest factor. Like how we vibe together, and if it don't work, we'll lick our wounds and move on. With a female, it's well, some females, not all, but with some females, it's like, how can I hurt this dude the worst?
Mm.
What?
Am
Yeah,
I not
it's
lying?
true. It's true.
Because if
It's
you didn't
true.
need him, if you wanted to move on, you'll leave him alone.
I
Not,
think I need
I'm
to
going to
introduce you
take
to a new circle
everything.
of friends.
It ain't my friends. I'm talking about every dude I
I
know.
think I need to introduce you to a new circle of friends because I got some good
Alright.
girlfriends. They ain't even about that. In fact,
It
Pastor Carter already got one in mind for you.
it happens. It happens more than what you would think.
That's all I'm
I
saying.
mean, I believe you. I believe you, but
It happens more than what you would think.
I think you're in the wrong circles, though.
Well, I mean, I don't think it's
That's
necessarily
true.
the fact of
That's true.
in the I don't think it's necessarily in the wrong circles. Maybe it's just the wrong women, not in the vetting. We're not doing good in the vetting process.
I think it's the wrong circles. Pastor Carter. I want to call you Pastor so bad. I'm sorry. I'm
Call me
trying to
JD.
say JD. I'm trying. I'm trying.
Call me JD.
But okay, I'm gonna say this, and you might fuss at me. You might speak in tongues a little bit. I was having the worst time dating as long as I was dating guys in from church.
You
Hmm.
in Montgomery, but it don't count.
I had to change the circle. I said
Hmm.
I'm not dating nobody else from church because those were the worst experiences of my life.
Mm.
And when I changed my circle, my outcome changed in a positive and more affirmative manner.
Now she's not lying at all
Hmm. Oh, you
because
mean you mean change my circle of women, not my circle of friends?
Right.
yeah,
Gotcha. Okay.
because I can attest to that. When I was breaking through with my situation, whatever, whatever, I was going more towards positive people in the same goal. Good. But as you know, JD, other things happen.
Hmm.
So now I'm tied to the devil. So hey, it's different.
Don't
But
let
I
your
Tied
do
to the
know
horse
what you're
up
devil.
to
talking
him
about.
no more.
I do know what you're talking about.
Mm.
But
My
then
my
we
my.
mentioned this the other night too, Emmanuel, that you were considering changing your circle to look a different shade.
Hmm.
Oh yeah.
Hmm.
You perked up then, didn't
Try something
you?
new. And I'm never against it. I'm never against trying something new, trying something different. If it ain't working, whether they say the
Because
definition
it
of
seems like
insanity
certain
is.
people gotta stick to the same playbook, even though your situation don't fit the playbook.
But
Hmm.
what did we talk about earlier? Being loyal to a fault. And
Hmm.
we got to get out of that. You
I'm
don't
loyal
have
to
to
Yep.
a
stay
fault.
loyal to something that's not
Friends,
serving you
relationship.
well.
Yeah. You're absolutely right. And then I talked about with somebody that's looking for the same thing as you. These days, if you're marriage minded and the person that you're not talking to is and the person you're talking to is not marriage minded, it's no point even wasting 3 to 6 months. Like
No,
if they're not marriage minded, they move
Go
around.
ahead.
That's
that's
like
a
if they're
half
marriage minded,
statement.
that's one of the first questions you need to be asking.
That's a
Or
half statement, bro. And I'll tell you why.
well, tell us the other half.
Both of y'all can be marriage minded, right?
Hmm.
You didn't want to be married to you. And that's what I'm finding out, bro. Yeah, we all want to
Yeah,
be married
yeah,
when we in our 30s.
yeah.
You didn't
You
want to
make
be
a
married to
point.
me? Hell no. I done gave out rings like cotton candy.
Hmm.
No, it ain't me. And I don't. Go ahead. They still
Hmm.
want to do their thing, and I'm trying to build a. Like I keep saying, I want the next Barack. I want the
Right.
next. They want the next. What's happening on Facebook? You know what I'm saying? So
Yeah.
I ain't got time for
Hmm.
that.
Low vibration.
Yeah, I got you. I got you. Well, listen, we've been on for about an hour and a half now. I know y'all tired and they're probably a little thirsty. We're gonna go ahead and wrap this one up. And I don't know when we'll be back. It'll probably be next Monday if we can keep up this schedule, and do what we can, get a little consistency going. But we'll let everybody know that's still watching. Thank y'all for watching. Thank you for your comments. And Emmanuel, you got something you want to say before we wrap up?
Why we wrapping up? I'm just playing, man.
It's
Tonight was good.
saying
Tonight was
something.
good. Tonight was
Yeah,
good.
yeah, real good. We'll say something for the
I'm
next.
eating my leftover plate.
We see, we see. We'll say something for the next stream. Alabama church girl, you got something you want to say?
I just want to say I really appreciate and enjoy these conversations with
Mhm.
Pastor JD and Mr. Emmanuel and with the congregation down in the comments. I
Yeah,
appreciate all of you guys for showing up. Please like and share this video. Tell your friends to come on in on next week. Tell a kin, tell a friend
yeah.
to come on in. Let's talk about it.
Please
And
do.
next time we have to do another official commercial for the pastor, okay?
Oh
We're gonna
no,
do a
no,
singles commercial.
don't do a commercial for me. But yeah, we're gonna go ahead and wrap it up for the night. If you're watching on the replay, thank you. Like, comment below, share the video. Go ahead.
I'm sorry, one more thing. Angels Among Us. I am working with this wonderful organization called Angels Among Us, and it
Mm-hmm.
is an organization that caters to the special needs community. It's an organization that says, hey, no matter if you're able bodied or if you're unable bodied, everybody is somebody. On September 18th, Angels Among Us will be hosting a beauty pageant for the special needs community. If you have someone in your family that is special needs or someone amongst your friend circle that special needs, have a special needs child, please hit me up so that you can register for this pageant. I think the registration ends July 18th. It's sponsored pageant, so we would love for you to come out and share. And if you have talents that you'd like to lend to this special event for our special needs community, please hit me up. I'm Valerie Young on Facebook, or you can find me under the Alabama Church Girl. Once again, the organization is called Angels Among Us.
All right, very good. Sounds like a very good organization. I can't wait to hear more about it. But yeah, we're gonna wrap it up for tonight. If you're watching the replay, go ahead and share your thoughts down below. Share, share, share. Like. And until next time, we out. Peace. Thank y'all.
Good night.
Night, y'all.